Hello my family, my friends, habari ya leo, natumai nyinyi wote mko salama kabisa. Hata mimi niko salama. To all my returning subscribers, na washukuru tena. To all my viewers, thank you so much kwa sababu you have managed, hii channel imeenda far because of you. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. You don't pay anything to subscribe. You subscribe, hit the red the ring button so that every time I upload a new video, you'll be able to watch. So thank you so much. My name is Jennifer Njerinjoroge. I talk about my own personal journey, things that I have gone through, and that the ones that have impacted my way of life today, and even how I make my own decisions. So karibuni sana. And previously I have been talking about some few important things, and I was talking to you about overcoming grief, and part 1, part 2, and there is another video there that I also I'm answering questions that have come into my inbox of late. And today is also another question that I was asked, and here is the question. How have you managed to overcome grief? How did you manage to overcome grief? And I want to answer that question in a wider and broader way, kwa sababu kila mtu ana safari yake ya grieving. And so my journey is quite nipana. One, I will tell you that grief never comes to an end. Even now, I still cry, and it is like, I don't know, 15 years ago, I still cry, and I cry a lot. Simple things, like nikipata mtu amehug mamake, or a sister, a family that has sisters and brothers, I feel my emotions zimekuwa mingi. Or if I see a mother somewhere suffering juu ya watoto, I feel emotions. So grief never comes to an end, but I will say it is a process, and it gets better by and by. As time goes, things get better. What walisema, time heals. Yes, time heals. And right now, as I talk about it, I have come to a place where I can be able to celebrate the lives of my beloved ones who have gone to be with the Lord. So, and there was this particular time where we went to pay dowry for my mom, and ilikuwa 2018. Yes, on October. Wajeni niwaambie, that day I cried. Our tradition, that day I really cried. Kwa sababu unajua lazima jina ya mamangu ingetajwa as many times as possible. So ilianza pale kwa gate. Hodigoko kwa nyina wa Wagare, hodigoko. And then there was now this final stage. I said, Neishogya ishishya Wagare, hey, Neishogya. My God, that day I really cried, as in cried. And it was a hard day for me. And it was also a decision that me and my father took so that we can finalize the tradition part of my mom and also honor her. So it was never easy. So that is just to say that even years later, grief never comes to an end, but it comes to a place where you are celebrating them. But one of the major things that I always do is that uko kwa mortuary, I always love to see them. This is their body, this is them. And another thing, pale kwa shimo, I love them. I love to see, not that I love, I want to see wakienda chini na tukiwazika, and taking that soil na kurusha. It's somehow inakufanyanga uanze kukua into term of their departure. At the moment it never makes sense, juu inakaanga kama utamaduni ama utaratibu ya hiyo vitu for that day, but it really helps. And so after that day is gone, there is now this day. I had grown up in a church. My grandmother was a Christian, so she took me to a church at very early and tender stage. So tusameheni kwa kelele ya nje. So she took me to church at a very tender age, and there was this there was this book in Psalmist where he says, even though I walk through the shallows of death, they shall not overwhelm me, because his hand is with me. So kuna hizo Bible verses zenye tuna recitingi tukiwa wadogo, and they stuck in our minds. So that is one of the many verses zenye zilikuwa zina recite even in my hardest moment, that I shall not be overwhelmed by all this. But note, there are moments and times that when this is too much, there are moments and they are there when this is too much and you feel like you are coming to an end. But the word of God really comes and strengthens you. The word of God comes and gives you hope. The word of God comes and reign in your heart, and you come back to your senses. It's like that moment when I was about to commit suicide, and the word of God really came and take the presence, and I started thinking about the love of God. So one of the major things is that I have been in the house of the Lord for so many years, and even when I grew up, I was still in the house of the Lord, and that really helped me to overcome the journey. Kitu ingine, I cry. Oh, I won't lie. I cry a lot. Mara mingi sana, I cry. And another thing is that I write anything that I'm feeling. I write. Mi huandika. And another thing yenye mi hufanya ni ati yenye nilifanyanga at the beginning, because I felt a lot of anger towards my mom. And niliwaambia in my previous video that mimi na mama angu hakunilea, so we never knew each other that good. We only knew each other for about 2.5 years. So I felt a lot of anger. Kwa nini you just come into my life now and then you go? So I used to take her picture. I used to tell her whatever I'm feeling. I would tell her whatever is inside my heart. I would namchapa namwambia, okay, I did that. It seems crazy. So I did that. And hiyo ilinisaidia kulift a lot of things in my chest. And ile bitterness yenye nilikuwa nayo ikaisha. And apparently I resemble my mom so much. So watu wenye wanajua my mom, majitaa Wangarika nini, wananitaa Wangarika dogo. So I started appreciating her for giving me life, for bringing me into life. And so I started appreciating her. And by and by, that anger was all gone. Another thing is that I surrounded myself with people who could just listen to me, despite hata kama siongelelei story concerning grief and blah blah blah, but I was surrounded by people who would really listen to me. Even in those moments that ninaongea nonsense, they will just listen. So there was that part of most of my friends, and they have been there for years. They listened to me a lot, and they have gone with me in the valley and in the mountain. They walked with me. And that brings us to the end of this topic. And I also want to say another thing. Because of what I have gone through, in one way or another, it may impact the way I make my decisions. And up to date, I'm still very sensitive in terms of words. Kuna words I can't stand. I'm still very sensitive. And because of my past, I have really made terrible decisions, and some are good. But in this lesson, I would love to talk about the decisions that I have made concerning relationships. And so, the next video, I will start talking about my dating life. Well, my friends, I will start talking about my dating life, which was phenomenal. Yes, I'll start to talk about that. So stay tuned. Nambarikiwe sana. here from Saudi Arabia, Riyadh. God bless you. Masalama, masalama, masalama.